I was actually on the east side of Detroit, and I caught the Oakland bus downtown. And if I didn't get the Oakland bus, I got the State Fair to Woodward, and I'd catch the Woodward bus down, and I'd walk over to Cass. And I loved every winter, spring, summer, and fall. I stood at the bus stops
all the way downtown.
Yeah.
To the city county building to get on the first
Yeah.
stop.
And we'd be holding books.
The fondest memories of coming here was that there was always more going on than you could possibly know about. It was a school not only of multi-levels, but there were so many different social groups, and there was always something more to discover, more people to meet.
When you enrolled in that building right there, Steve, you came to seriously get education.
I think I felt better coming to school, being around the friends here at school, as opposed to the friends in the neighborhood. Because they were all actually jealous of us because we were a part of a society that they weren't privy to.
Right. And they're like, oh, you went to Cass, you must be smart.
You think you know so much. And I'm like, I do. I know more people than you do.
When I was here, it was over 4,000 people, and my graduating class was about 1,200. So that was an amazing number of people to try to, sort of find your way through in a 4-year period, and it was just a wonderful, wonderful experience.
The thing that I remember the most is that I met the love of my life over here, and it was just right underneath the balcony, maybe 8 rows in from the balcony. And I can remember who introduced me, what the gal was wearing, and everything like that. But the nice thing was that, well, she ended up being a millionaire. She moved out to California, and I'm still living in Detroit. And the good thing is that I didn't sell out, so that's the part I'm happy about the most.
I graduated in 1981. I was in the performing arts curriculum. At the moment, I'm a clown and a balloon artist, so I kind of kept to my performing arts stuff.
Well, I majored in music, my damn self. I got laid off my job 6 months ago. I had a few $1,000s saved, and then I started getting behind my rent. Then I couldn't. 6 weeks ago, I didn't have enough money to pay my rent, and I lived at the same place for 10 years, for the last 10 years.
Now, nobody who went to Cass, with I'm sure very few exceptions, would be considered people of means. We were all City of Detroit residents, and we were doing the best we could with the public educational system.
I wish that we had more of the resources that I've seen in the suburban schools.
Right.
Those resources that have been made available to us have always come years behind our counterparts.
To construct this bad baby, you feel me?
We are a family, and we always will be a family. It's not about being black or white or Asian or whatever. It's about being a family, and everybody was focused in their curriculums, and it was awesome. It was awesome.
It's sad. I do realize that we have to update. However, I really wish that all of the students here in the Detroit and surrounding area could have had the opportunity that the class of 1980 had. For those of us who caught the bus and developed friendships, lifelong friends. For those of us who ended up getting cars, beaters, or even new cars, I just really wish that those that did not attend Cass, for whatever reason, because the parents wanted them to go to parochial school, which they thought was better, or for those parents who were afraid to have their kids come down to, an inner city, downtown Detroit, they really missed out on huge opportunities, just life lessons.
In Detroit, which has always been a city that suffered, as you mentioned earlier, from, terrible, racial tensions and class tensions and even geographical tensions, this was the one entity that brought people together.
We went to school during the time of Roots, when Roots came
Yes.
out, and there was a lot of racial tension elsewhere.
Right.
But you didn't feel that at Cass.
Not at all.
You know, you had, everybody was wonderful with that, you know, and you felt it more, I felt it more in my neighborhood, and I lived in Northwest Detroit.
You know, I discovered early on that although I eventually went to the University of Michigan and became an engineer, the classes that I have the best memories of here were of my art history class and of my French language class. Those are the ones that really made the difference because they were the unexpected.
You cannot be no idiot when you walk in the front door, and you cannot become a fool and discover that when you walk out that back door.
Actually, you know, used, you know, from a Central Detroit standpoint to really keep in touch with people years later. I still have friends that I keep in very close contact with, you know, now, you know, going back, you know, essentially 35 years.
We all just became family.
The only thing that ever mattered with that institution right there, that they beating on and knocking down, was education.